Oh, really? I didn't expect that. Thank you, Reignover. Um, well, at least I think, at least for like macro, I'm in charge of getting vision, wanting to go with what objective we should get. People don't really think I'm very talkative because on my previous team, I didn't have those roles. And whenever you hear mic checks, I'm not really talking unless I'm playing like an engage champion. I'm like, I'm going. Or whenever I'm featured in TSM Legends, all the information leads to me not being very communicative. And I think on TSM, I didn't have that role at all. But on CLG, it's significantly different. The atmosphere and the environment propels me to go into that role. And everyone's really supportive of, encouragement, empowering people in their roles. Where Reignover, he's focused on early game, and everyone just listens to his call, whatever he thinks is the best. Who he is the primary shot caller in like split second decisions. Everyone's like, okay, listen to who he's the voice of the team. And in these split second decisions where 1 second can count, he's going to be the leading voice. And then whereas for me, I'm more focused on the overall state of the map and what we want to accomplish long term. And I guess that's why he thought that I'm helpful to him. But I think Reignover and Huhi, they're really strong as a mid duo because, of course, there's no language barrier. They both speak Korean. Of course, they can speak English fluently as well, but they communicate their thoughts really well, and they have a lot of innate synergy with them. And for the most part, they're probably or at least I think, the strongest mid duo in the LCS. I think at least on TSM, certain people were telling me that I needed to have a more vocal role on the team, and I tried, but I think it was just really hard for me to kind of step into that role, mainly because the atmosphere is just really different. Where when I joined TSM, I was a rookie, and there's already really strong voices on the team where it can be hard to kind of shift away from that and be able to take a really leading foot into the team. Whereas on CLG, it's a new roster. There's no like really rookies on the team, and we're all seen like pretty much equal. And it's a lot easier for me to be able to take onto that role, or at least try to work on it, because I only recently stepped into the role, and it's a lot different from what I'm normally used to, and it just takes a lot of practice. But everyone on the team, including the coaching staff, is very supportive, and even if you mess up, they're like, keep going, you can do this. And overall, it's very positive. I think, at least for Echo Fox, it's a best of one, and anything can really happen. And they did really well because their roster is really good. They have really strong laners in Huni, Phoenix, and Dardoch. Dardoch plays really well off of aggressive laners, and that makes them a really strong best of one team. I think in general, though, Echo Fox, I don't think they would be very good in like a best of three setting, just because once you get used to their playstyle, you kind of know what to expect, and it can be more manageable. Well, at least for the CLG roster, we have, obviously there's a lot of talent there, and when we pulled up this roster, everyone knew that a lot of the individual players, Reignover, he had a lot of success before, and everyone knew that the talent was there. It was just the fact of whether or not we could mesh. Of course, Afremu was the main shot caller and captain of the team before, and everyone thought that everyone on the team relied on him a lot for a lot of the guidance. So, of course, going from that to the roster that we have now was a big transition. So that's like been our main issue with like just, getting used to the new infrastructure of how everything works in comms and everyone's roles. I think our roles have been kind of established now going into like week 3, and we have a lot of things that are set in place that I think will be really beneficial for us later on. Like he's the main primary shot caller, and whereas I'm mostly focused on macro, and Darshan, Trevor, and Reignover, they all focus on different aspects of the game, and Reignover's like focused on early game. I think having those roles like set in place really helps you define like what everyone should be working on, like themselves, and having their own like short time goals, long term, and it helps facilitate at least getting better. Trevor and I think we're actually really, really good as a bot duo. We haven't really shown it on stage yet, and I think that part's a little bit unfortunate, but I'm hoping that with the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to like demonstrate what we've been showing in scrims, because we have a lot of synergy together and we play really well in lane. And yeah, people didn't really see that side to us, because in the first couple of games that we played on stage, it obviously didn't go so hot, and people were blaming us, and there was a lot of criticism, like, oh, Afro's gone, Bio's just this walking mute butt, walking around not knowing what to do. So in general, that's a lot different from what we're seeing, and we just want to be able to show that. So with new teams, like new rosters, similar to TSM, it does take some time to kind of like pick up the pace and start like playing really well as a team. Echo Fox, they didn't really need that much time at all, and they just came running through the gate, and they were 4-0 undefeated. Everyone was like, this is the best team in the NALCS. Whereas TSM and CLG, people expect us to be good right off the bat, but it's been taking us more time to get used to just all the new dynamics within the team. And I'm pretty sure that we'll be a really strong team by the time playoffs comes, and we just have to be able to keep working hard in scrims and kind of just not be deterred by the short-term results, but more like in long-term, where we can see our growth really shine on stage. Well, TSM, I always think of them as a finals contender. Every year they always go into the finals. And C9 looks really strong as well. I think over the years, they've always made it into playoffs, and they've always been a really good contender for the split championship. But other than that, there hasn't been any other team that I think will shine a lot later onto the split, except for like C9, TSM, Echo Fox, hopefully CLG. But yeah, those are the main four that I'm looking at. Oh, Team Liquid. Shoot. Yeah, right, Team Liquid. I almost forgot. They're looking really good.
For more league interviews and analysis, subscribe to our channel. You can also find stats, discussions, and more on our website and mobile app at blitzesports.com.